last wave of 200, 300, 400 aircraft.
Prime Minister Brian
chose to focus on the fact that we have to anticipate there'll be additional surprises.
Hello, I'm Steve Karrpi. I'm on the senior research staff at CNA. I deployed for Desert Storm with Cruiser Destroyer Group 2. I was on the Admiral staff. I was in a combat zone and I was there at sea. I think it was a total of 72 days with USS America. So one of the issues that all of the ships in the Persian Gulf were dealing with was sea mines. The Iraqis didn't want foreign ships approaching Kuwait or approaching the northern part of the Persian Gulf. So there were some floating around. And one of those mines actually was very near USS America at one point, and I could see that mine myself. Eventually, at a certain point, USS Princeton and USS Tripoli both hit mines. So this was a real threat. Princeton had major damage. It would cost as much to repair the ship or almost as much just as the full cost of a ship. So that was one of our threats. And a bigger study that I did at the time was on Iraqi Scud missiles.
So let me just update you on the details. We have one large building in Tel Aviv that has collapsed from a missile.
During that period, 80, 90, maybe more were launched. And so I started tracking that. I noticed there were patterns, and I immediately shared that with our intelligence officer on the Admiral staff. And the way it was used was we now were able to focus scud hunting sorties that were flying over Iraq. We could focus them much better to fit the pattern that we had detected. So that was pretty significant. Another thing that came out of it was a facility in Iraq that had previously not had any special attention. It became clear that it was actually a Scud support facility. All of the aircraft carriers and other U.S. Navy ships, as they transited through the Strait of Hormuz, it was considered especially dangerous. It was unclear what the Iranians would do, and everyone had gas masks and atropine syringes. During drills, we'd put those gas masks on. We were also trained how to use the atropine syringes, and that was in case gas was actually detected.
Nerve agents work fast, so the atropine must be injected quickly in order that it can go to work before the muscles become paralyzed. That is why the injection is given through your clothing.
We occasionally had alerts of one kind or another. I mentioned the floating mine that was near USS America. So that was kind of the general pattern of the Iranian threat, but also the Iraqi threat.
You can now listen to the full interview on the CNA Talks podcast, available on all major podcast platforms.